Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Siti Aisyah binti Muhammad Razi. My metric number 1231557. Today, I would like to present about the article information. The article entitled Implementation of Sulh in Islam, a study on the Syariah legal system in Malaysia, examines Sulh as an Islamic mechanism for conflict resolution. Authored by Hasinzam Hashim, Wan Abdul Fattah Wan Ismail, Ahmad Syukran Baharuddin, Muhammad Ani Ahmad alias Zulfaqar Mahmud, Luqman Abdul Muttalib, Norman Zaki Chow Jin Xiang, and Norma Jusuf. The article was published in 2024. It provides a comprehensive discussion on the implementation of Sulh, focusing on its conceptual framework, legal foundations, pillars, and application within the Malaysian Sharia legal system. The article further analysed the categories of cases that may be referred to the Majlis Sulh and highlights the role of Sulh in promoting justice and maintaining social harmony.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Maria Binta Aslin. My metric number is 1231496. So I will present about the introduction. First of all, the article entitled is Implementation of Sulh in Islam, a study of the Sharia legal system in Malaysia. And this article is discussed about the method of Sulh as a conflict resolution that applies the mechanism of Islamic principles. Sulh means is a peaceful agreement or peaceful settlement process that encourage disputing parties to reach a mutual agreement without going through lengthy court proceedings. And the studies highlights that Islam emphasizes reconciliation and harmony in resolving conflicts, particularly in family dispute. Therefore, the article comprehensively examines the implementation of Sulh by focusing the conceptual aspects, including the definitions, Sharia arguments, and evidence from Quran, Sunnah, and scholarly consensus, as well as the essential pillars of Sulh and how the Sharia ecosystem implemented in Malaysia. And in addition, research in this article also conducted under categories of cases that can be referred to the Sulh Council and the role of Sulh in strengthening justice and maintaining social harmony. Overall, this article demonstrates that Sulh is an effective and practical uh, dispute resolution mechanism to Muslim especially that can remain relevant in the modern Sharia legal system. That's all for this part. Okay, next I will present about the significance of the study. This case study provided many important insight into the concept and development of Sharia judicial system in Malaysia. First of all, the study can contribute to the development of knowledge in the field of Islamic family law by gathering discussion related to the concept of sulh in legal Sharia legal argument, the pilots of sulh, and the development of its implementation in the Malaysian Sharia legal system. In addition, the discussion in this article of about the implementation in Sulu can prove that Sulu is a dispute resolution mechanism that follows the principle of Sharia without having to go through a long and complex trial process in court. This also shows that Sulu can reduce the burden of managing cases, backlogs in Sharia court, and promote harmonious and private reconciliation between parties. Lastly, in this article, there is also an assertion that the implementation of Sulu can strengthen Sharia legal institutions and support the sustainable development goals, which is SDGs, particularly SDG 16 relating to peace, justice, and strong institution, and SDG 5 is relating about the gender, relating to gender equality regarding women's right in family cases. Because we can see the Sharia code is mostly focused on mostly about the family cases. So it gives the ability to have equality between genders. This opened the eyes of the community, especially Muslim community, to the mechanism of implementing Suluh in a fair and equitable Sharia perspective. There are several research objectives in this article. First is to explain the concept of Suluh in Islam. First objective is about discuss the definition of suluh, basis from Quran Sunnah, scholarly consensus, as well as the pillars and so on according to Islamic law. Secondly, to analyze the implementation of suluh in the Malaysian Sharia legal system. It explains the procedures, legal framework, and the role of the Sharia court and, of course, Suluh officer in conducting the Suluh process. Thirdly, to identify the types of cases that can be referred to the Suluh Council, which is Majlis Suluh. These types of cases maybe because there are not all the cases can be included in Majlis Suluh. Um, Sample that can be included is maintenance, hardana, mut'ah, and so on. Number four is to evaluate the importance of suluh in the Malaysian Sharia legal system. This highlight that suluh have reduced backlog or court delays. It can save time and cost and promotes peaceful settlement between parties, and of course strengthen justice and social harmony.
Next, research approach. This study adopts a qualitative research approach through documents analysis. The researchers examined various sources including the Quran, Hadith, legal provisions, statute, academic books, journal articles, and official documents related to the implementation of suluh within the Malaysian Sharia legal system. The data collected was subsequently organized and presented according to the specific sub-themes to provide a comprehensive understanding of the concept, legal foundations, and implementation of suluh in Malaysia. Next, research question. The first research question in this article is what is the theoretical and legal concept of suluh? Second, what are the legal foundations and pillars of suluh? Third, how is suluh institutionalized in the Malaysian Sharia courts? Next, which cases are mandatory for referral to the Majlis Suluh? And lastly, how does suluh contribute to social harmony and global goals?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nurin Husna binti Zairul. My matric number is 1231509. So I will continue the presentation with article summary. In this article, the findings of the study show that suluh is a peaceful dispute resolution method recognized in Islam. And in this article, the authors also study about the definition of suluh according to Islamic jurisprudence. So, the major of schools of Islamic jurisprudence define suluh as the resolution of disputes through peaceful negotiation voluntarily. Other than that, among the significant cases involving the implementation of suluh in Islam are the placement of Hajarul Aswad during our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The second one, the dispute that happened between Al-Zubair al-Awwam and a man from Ansar. And the third thing is emphasized by Caliph Umar al-Khattab on the permissibility of suluh during the era of Khulafa ar-Rashidin. Next, in this article, the authors also covered about the implementation of suluh within the Sharia legal system in Malaysia. which is in our history. The implementation of Sulh in our Syariah legal system in this country began in the 1970s when the position of Women's Advisory Officer was established. So this position was established to assist the Qadi in the court proceedings. In the 1990s, Sulh was officially incorporated into the civil procedure enactments of the respective states. And in 2002, the Sulh unit was established. This is followed by the appointment of Sulh officers. Other than that, the Sulh Work Manual 2002 was also introduced to provide detailed guidelines for Sulh officers. And the JKSM Practice Direction Number 1, year 2010 has listed 18 types of cases, which is they are all must undergo the Sulh counsel process before proceeding to a full trial in court. So, in this study, the authors conclude that Sulh is capable of providing an avenue for dispute resolution without involving complicated litigation process, high costs, and the lengthy procedures. It is implemented in accordance with Islamic law and continuously improved through legal provisions to ensure that it remains relevant and effective as an alternative dispute resolution mechanism within the Sharia legal system in Malaysia.
Next, I will move on the analysis and criticisms of these articles. In these sections, I will explain about the two main aspects, which is the strengths and the weakness of this article. First, the strengths of the article. Number one is explain the implementation of Sulh in Islam systematically with a focus on the Malaysian Sharia legal system. It begins by discussing the view of the fuqaha and the Islamic evidence related to Sulh. Then it's explained how Sulh is implemented in the Malaysian Sharia legal system. This helps readers understand both the theory and the practical application of Sulh. Number two, this clearly discuss the four essential pillars, which is arkan of Sulh, namely Sirah, which is offer and acceptance, the disputing parties, the subject matters or right in disputes, and the settlement agreed upon by both parties. It also explains the condition for each pillar. This helps readers understand what is required for a Sulh agreement to be valid under Islamic law. Number three is presents, this articles presents in a well-organized manner using tables, mind maps, and a systematic structure, making the article easier to understand. Now I will move on the weakness of the article. Number one, does not discuss in detail the practical challenges or limitation in implementing the Sulh process. Although the article explains the concept and procedures of Sulh well, it does not discuss the practical challenge in detail. For example, it does not explain issues such as lack of cooperation between the parties, failure to reach an agreement, or emotional conflict that may affect the Sulh process. Including this issue will provide a more balanced discussion. Number two is lack empirical evidence, such as statistic on Sulh process and case settlements rates in the Sharia court. Without this data, the discussion is more theoretical and maybe less convincing. Including such evidence will strengthen the articles and increase readers' confidence in the effectiveness of Sulh. That's all from me.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Shazwani binti Zulkifli. My metric number 1231542. Now I will continue with the reflective view. So personally, I agree with the author's view that Sulh is an effective method of the dispute resolution within the Sharia legal system in Malaysia. This is because Sulh helps to resolve the dispute more quickly without going through to the complicated and a costly litigation process. In addition, it emphasizes reconciliation, sincerity, and the mutual agreement between the parties involved. Through this approach, good relationship between the disputing parties can be maintained, especially in the case involving the family matters. As a result, a conflict can be resolved in more peaceful and harmonious manner. However, there are several areas that can be improved in the implementation of the Sulh in Malaysia. So, firstly, is the scope of the Sulh, which is currently focused more on the Islamic family law, could be expanded to the other areas in the future so that more people can benefit from this dispute resolution mechanism. So secondly, the Department of the Syariah Judicial Malaysia, or we call it JKSM, should strengthen the public awareness program such as the Sulu outreach to increase the public understanding and confidence in the effectiveness of the Sulu. Furthermore, additional training and professional development programs should be provided for the Sulu offices to ensure that the negotiation and the mediation process are conducted more effectively and professionally. In terms of the article's contribution, these articles serve as a valuable reference for students, researchers, and the public who wish to gain a deeper understanding of Sulu. This article discussed the concept, historical development, legal basis, pillars, and the implementation of the Sulu in Malaysia. It also demonstrates that the Sulu is an effective alternative dispute resolution mechanism that is consistent with the principle of the justice, reconciliation, and harmony in Islam.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Karim Ibrahim. My metric number is 1231626. I will present about conclusion. From this article, it can be learned that Suluh is a dispute resolution method in Islam that emphasizes peace, justice, and harmony, and is implemented systematically within the Sharia legal system in Malaysia. This article also provides an understanding of the role of Suluh in expediting case resolution, reducing the cost burden, and maintaining good relation between the disputing parties. Overall, this article successfully achieved its research objective as it elaborates on the concept of Suluh is implemented within Sharia legal system in Malaysia and assesses is important in resolving this dispute effectively. That's all from me. Thank you.